Today we're going to be talking about Season 9, Episode 11 of The Flash, where it was another episode with majority of it without Barry Allen. You know how we just love those? We love those so freaking much. There were definitely some good moments during it, however, some of it did not land, and it kind of disappointed me because we just went from 2 great episodes to this one, whatever this is. So let's jump into my review and breakdown for the episode, because there is some stuff we need to talk about, specifically what has to do with Eddie Thawne and Malcom Gilmore. If that was his name. Missed that last episode, so let's jump into it. Welcome to NonStopAntonio, where I talk about everything nerdy. I love Marvel, DC, and anime, and if you do too, I hope you enjoy this video. So like I said, another episode with no Barry. Well, pretty much, because at the very end, he finally comes into the episode, he pops back into present day, and honestly, I'm not a fan of the Flash episodes without the Flash. Like, there were some good moments where Iris is trying to realize who she is without Barry. She's scared that her husband's never gonna come back, and her daughter's gonna grow up without a father again. Like, these are actual things that she should be aware of and be upset about. However, it just felt like a lot of this episode probably gonna be cut in half. This episode was pretty much Team Flash getting their asses kicked by the negative Speed Force. Also, having Mark back was unexpected. I was hoping we were kind of done with this character. I was never really that big of a fan of him, and then after Caitlin and Frost were gone, I felt really that there was no need for him, but he came back. Technically, he was kind of the bad guy this episode, but he also was back as normal Mark by the end of it. The Khione stuff was interesting. I'm still not a huge fan of her character, but they at least revealed who she truly is, and they literally made her a force of nature from Mother Earth. She's a goddess, which kind of ties back to when Frost got first introduced, where Caitlin had this other half, where they named her Khione. But the highlight definitely of the episode was the Malcom Gilmore Thawne twist, with what happened at the end there, but we'll get to that because I want to break that down by itself. Definitely not a bad episode compared to like 3 of the filler episodes from this season. Now, before I get into the Malcom Gilmore and Eddie Thawne stuff of the episode, let's just quickly talk about the negative Speed Force and Khione. Throughout the episode, they just kept dropping Cobalt, teasing Cobalt Blue, like the crystal popping up, it's Cobalt energy, it's an isotope that's going around. But you know what's nice? At least we finally figure out that it's been 7 months. Mark has been gone for that long, and he left. So now we kind of have a timeline of where things took place. But it turns out the negative Speed Force got a hold of Mark and turned him into their pawn, which is what they did with Joe in the past. And he just kept taking down Team Flash members. Yeah, that was something. He just kept taking them down, which was easy because you don't expect your friend to be the bad guy. Especially because no one actually knew the negative forces were after them. They just knew this mysterious Cobalt was popping up all over the city, and that's why Barry was gone. And you know, I'm not a huge fan of the Khione stuff because Khione went and saved the reporters at the Citizen when the gas started leaking because of Cobalt, and it just felt so bad. Like this, I was like watching it, I was like, what is going on? Like seriously, it went from 2 amazing episodes to this? Like the gas stuff was just so annoying. Oh my god, there's a gas leak, I'm gonna go shut it off, but then breathe it all in while I'm shutting it off. Then Khione coming in and turning them into green plants. She turns them into plants, which made her, she's OP as shit, but still, like she turned them into plants, and then they freaked out and ran away. Mark turns around and calls her a monster, which was when I figured out, oh, it's a negative Speed Force corrupting him, because that's exactly how he would react if he was actually the bad guy. And then 2 seconds later, it was revealed that he was the bad guy. I did not like what they did with Khione. I don't know. It didn't sit right with me. We had the Speed Force make an appearance in the Nora form again, which after seeing Michelle Harrison last episode, it was cool to see her again this episode, even though last episode I specifically said that I wasn't a big fan of seeing her as the Speed Force. It was just nice to see her 2 episodes in a row. And she's also the one that finally gave us the reveal of who Khione is. She's a goddess. She has the power of nature. She can be any element she wants. She's been saving ecosystems around the planet. She's helped animals, people, and she can feel everything as well. She's changed people's physiology because she turned them into plants. And then later, she turns Mark into fucking dirt, and then puts them back together, which is pretty messed up, but also cool. But yeah, that was all the Khione stuff and the negative Speed Force stuff where it's like, I don't know, a lot of it felt very stretched out, like we didn't need it. But let's talk about the good part of the episode, which is everything that had to do with Malcom, because there was like this huge mystery, and I'm still freaking confused about what's going on. This definitely takes place on Earth Prime, but I don't know how it takes place on Earth Prime, because it's so freaking weird. Because in the last episode, when the episode started, Malcom woke up in a house that looked identical to Joe's. Like, it looked like the house that Cecile and Allegra were in, unless they just literally used the same set and they didn't want to give us a brand new set and they look similar. No, it looks the same, which is why I was like, wait a second, after rewatching, I'm like, that actually might be on a different Earth rather than on Prime Earth and Eddie having a twin. Which, the goddamn twist, guys, the twist was not, I did not see that coming. I kept saying, wait a second, it's on another Earth. Wait, never mind, no it's not. And it's just back and forth confusion because Malcom goes to CCPD and he talks to Captain Corber, which I'm like, who the hell is this? But then when Malcom goes to give her his license, it says Malcom Gilmore and like blue cobalt energy goes onto it. So it's like it was empty at first and then it got written down on it. But it kind of all ties back in the end about what's really going on where Malcom is actually Eddie. What the hell is going on? Like, how is Malcom Eddie? Because Malcom just kept wandering around, hearing the negative speed force telling him to find her, find her, find her. There's like hatred in it, making him look like he's going crazy. He goes to the Central City Citizen, tries to find Iris, sees all the pictures, sees it says Iris West Allen on the front. This is where I'm like, okay, this definitely does take place on this Earth, but it never really stated a timeline. But because Captain Kramer is no longer Captain Kramer and she's not there, Korber said she worked with Eddie when she was a rookie, it does make sense that this does take place in the future, and that somehow with all the timey-wimey shit, after Eddie sacrificed himself, he is now in the future, reborn. Because during this, he even sees Eddie's love for Iris. He sees Joe run to him when he shoots himself in the chest in season 1. Like, he sees everything, and it gets so freaking confusing until the ending kind of makes more sense, but still confusing. Like, Malcom digs up Eddie's grave. Eddie's body isn't there because, of course, he doesn't have Eddie's body. Eddie's body got pulled into the wormhole portal when it went to Earth 2 and all that stuff, so we never actually figured out where his body went, and it looks like he was just reconstituted and brought alive because at the end, he literally pulls the bullet out of his chest and there's blood there again. Still, again, so confusing about what's going on. Like, is Eddie alive? Is he like a creation of the negative speed force? Was he reborn into this world and kind of placed there with all history warping around him? Because Malcom is Eddie. He's not the twin brother, which most of us thought was what's going to happen. I think that probably would have made a little bit more sense than what they did. It's a cool twist, but he's in the future. He's actually Eddie. He has memories taken away from him. Now they're coming back. He still has the bullet in him, and he's able to pull it out of himself. So I'm curious to see how they're going to explain all this, because Eddie's obviously, next episode, he's going to go trying to find Barry, and all this shit's going to go down, because then he's going to realize, I could have had this life. It was taken away from me. He's going to be corrupted by the negative speed force, and he's going to have this hatred for Barry Allen. He's going to want to take out Barry Allen. He's going to want to try to reclaim his life and change history once again. At least that's what the episode 12 trailer made it look like. But hey, let's talk about the other stuff that happened in the ending, because that stuff was cool. Iris is going into labor. Barry's about to have his kid. And then he finally shows up at the end of the episode just in time to see his baby born. Well, you would think. And then he gets ripped away to the future again. So now he's not going to see baby Nora get born unless he gets dropped right before it happens again. But at least Barry fills in Team Flash about the crystal going around trying to kill all their friends. So overall, very interesting episode when it came to Malcom and that freaking twist, because I did not expect it. It was a twist on a twist on a twist. It was a pretty cool twist, though, I'm not going to lie. But it was not at all what I was expecting. I was expecting Eddie Thawne to have a twin brother and then him wanting to go get revenge for his brother after his brother was killed by the Flash and he would be corrupted by the negative speed force. That's not the case. Malcom is Eddie, somehow placed here in the future in his own life, living his life until the negative forces come for him and want him to be their avatar. At least I'm more interested in that story than anything else going on right now, because the Khione stuff, not interested in. Honestly, they could have had like a 5-minute scene in the episode and I would have been happy enough with the explainer rather than kind of focusing on it this episode. Also, the negative forces stuff was just, it was okay. At least the speed force came to help him out in the end and blast him away. That was cool. I am still looking forward to the final 2 episodes because I know how epic it's gonna be. Even though this was a disappointment, it can only get better from here, right? What did you think of this episode? What did you think of that ending and that twist? Because I didn't see it coming. Were any of your theories correct for what was happening with Malcom? And what are you looking forward to in the last 2 episodes of the season? I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot, and you can stay up to date and watch the last 2 episodes with me. I'm also doing Superman and Lois and the Titans, which does end today as of this video going up. And I'll be covering Doom Patrol when it comes back. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.